First, Carl, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. This is just a lot of fun, and I appreciate the opportunity to share my view of the world.
I'm happy to have you, Miss Charlie. You're one of the guests that I feel like we need to have because our audience needs to be able to showcase to the world like what is my facility about, and even be found. So we definitely need someone like you. So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, Miss Charlie?
I sure can. I can tell a million stories. I am a small business consultant now focusing on helping small businesses gain an online footprint. For over 40 years, I was a consultant for small businesses with a focus on infrastructure and accounting. My specialty was finding businesses that were in trouble, either financially or with marketing, and I would contract with the business owner to literally take over their businesses. I would complete the evaluation of the business. I would remarket the business. I would rehire staff, retrain staff, remarket, retrain, remarket, retrain. And then after a couple of years, it usually took me 3 years, we would, under our contract, we would sell the business and I would make a piece of the profit. So I managed to save 12 out of 13 companies that I worked with. That last company, that one company I couldn't save, found me just too late. All I did was work from referrals. I had a zero advertising budget and I had more clients than I could take care of. I worked with a dude ranch in Colorado, a hazardous material warehousing company, a real estate brokerage, a 5-state payroll processing company, an assisted living company with 2 locations
Yes.
for 7 years, two property management firms. One of them had properties in 2 states, and I don't remember the rest. I worked a long time.
Hmm.
During those years, I found out there are a couple of universal principles that move a company towards success. One is your company infrastructure has to be solid. If you don't have all your background noise under control, you as the business owner can never focus on getting your company moving forward. You might have some small success in the beginning, but without the infrastructure poised to support your efforts for your company, you will hit a glass ceiling pretty quickly. Second is you must focus your efforts on 3 things as the company owner. Figure out right away what is your own job description.
Hmm.
Often, small business people decide to do functions that are not their job. For instance, a small business owner would want to save money by doing their own bookkeeping. Big mistake, big
Hmm.
mistake. Hire out the bookkeeping, spend as little time as you can on it. Bookkeeping is a time consuming function, and your efforts as the owner are more expensive than what you would pay to a bookkeeper.
It's funny you say that. My next guest is actually a bookkeeper, so he'll be happy to hear that what you just
Oh,
said.
would you please give me my number?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
need a referral person sometimes
Yeah, for sure, for
because I
sure.
don't take any more bookkeeping clients.
Uh-huh.
This falls under the category of a business owner not recognizing that their own time is something of value to the company. They don't recognize that and deciding right away what is the core job description, what pieces of management of the company cannot be done by anyone else is critical to a small business. One of the core jobs for a small business owner is marketing, marketing, and more marketing. Nobody markets their company as good as the business owner does. And
Mhm.
one thing is if you do have a salesman that you've hired, monitor them like hair on a bear. Make sure that they're absolutely saying what you can support when your company comes in as the vendor to the new client. That has to be absolutely in sync.
Mhm.
Employee management. Everybody loves that, right? Everybody loves employee management.
It's
The
their favorite
manager,
thing.
the company owner is responsible for interviewing, hiring, training, retraining, managing, and firing the employees. Get real clear of what is each person's job description and never do their work for them. If I had a dime for every time I've heard, it's just easier for me to do the work than to explain it again to my employee, I'd be a rich woman. That means that that employee does not communicate well with the company owner, and the company owner should get somebody else in that position. That's how that translates. Anyway, I think I got off topic.
No, that's good. That's good.
This was the type of consulting I did forever. And in the end, I ended up cheating my clients from 1995 going forward. I cheated my clients. That's because I did not understand the impact that the internet has on businesses. Early on, I did not understand that. And
Mhm.
I did not go and get the education and the technology in order to effectively help my clients in their online presence. So, several years ago, after I semi retired, I decided to step up to the plate and go learn what I needed to have learned in the first place. So I went to school 60 or 70 hours a week for a significant period of time, taking
Wow.
all kinds of courses and participating in webinars and traveling to take core courses that I needed. And I was online forever. And I finally got the training that I should have gotten in the early 2000s. So, somewhat less than 5 years ago, I opened up an internet marketing company. I now use my background in small business management to assist my clients when I'm building their marketing plans. I
Mhm.
find out where their heart is. I find out what the core of their being is and why they're in business. And I make the real strong effort to explain that and describe that on their websites and in all of their marketing pieces. Fortunately for the assisted living community, I have years of experience in the industry, both from a business manager for a well-respected ALF owner in Clear Lake for 7 years.
Mhm.
And all of my clients in the ALF industry are doing well with the marketing. We do Facebook ads, we do Instagram ads, we do websites, we do Google business pages, and we do something else called citations and listings. So that's who I am.
That's excellent. One of the things I do want to ask, like, do you, in terms of businesses, are you more for someone that's new or established or someone that's having trouble? Or what if they're doing well? Could they still, you know, improve more? Is that something that you found with experience?
Nobody comes to me when they're
Mhm.
happy with their world.
Makes sense. That
Nobody.
makes sense.
So
Mhm.
anybody that finds me is unhappy with something in their marketing online. So, yes,
Mhm.
an established business who is not getting any response off their website, who is not getting any response off their Facebook ads, who never has anybody call up and say, "Hey, I saw you on Facebook yesterday. What's the deal?" Nobody comes to me when they're getting the calls from the clients. Everybody that shows up says, "What's happened to my marketing?"
Mhm.
So, it doesn't matter if you're a brand new company and never had any marketing before, or if you're an established company and your marketing is just not working.
Mhm.
It's all the same process. I find out where your heart is, I find out where your soul is, and we talk about that out on the internet.
I love that. I love that. Now, we talked briefly about mistakes that assisted living facility operators make. Can you tell us more about that you've encountered yourself?
Oh, there are 5 major ones.
Mhm.
The first one and nobody's going to like this. But the first one is not putting together a realistic budget before you ever buy a property.
Before you buy the property.
Before you buy the property. Everybody hates budgets. I mean, let's face it, it is no fun. You have to really do some hard thinking. You have to see some hard facts. You have to look at the numbers on the page and see the amount of money that you're fixing to spend. Nobody likes doing budgets. The good news is you do not have to do your budget by yourself. There are people out there called full charge bookkeepers. Those are the people that know how to put budgets together. It's not your CPA, it's not your tax preparer, it's the bookkeepers. They will work with you and help you put together the budget. You have to have in your mind what you want to do, big picture, and the bookkeeper will pick it apart a little at a time and come up with a realistic budget for you. And if you say, I'm going to spend $100 a year on printer ink, the bookkeeper is going to say, no, you're not. You're going to spend $350 a year on the printer ink. The bookkeeper will know because she or he works with all types of companies and sees the real answer in the receipts they work with. So go find a good full charge bookkeeper and start working out the budget. And I have a couple of links if people want to contact me later that I can send you to that will help you look at what is in an assisted living budget. I have a couple of links I can share. So it's critical. The question we always get, we consultants, the question we get is, what can I charge for a room? What can I charge per resident? That's not the right question. The question is how much does it cost you to put that resident in that bed? And then you look to see how much you have to make, and that's what you have to charge. Because none of us are in business just for grins and shakes. We're in it to make money. We may love our work and we may get fulfilled by our work. But if we don't make money and take home money for ourselves and our kids and the feed for our dog, we're in the wrong business. So in order to know how much to charge for a resident, you have to put your budget together.
Makes sense. I like that.
The next thing that I see rookie ALFs do is not budget enough time to get their property open in a timely basis. I have seen it take, for people who work real hard at it all the time, I've seen it take a year to a year and a half to get open.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Yes. And some of that time could be compressed if the rookie ALF owner is working every day after work until midnight and working every weekend. But nobody can sustain those kinds of hours. When you're very young, maybe you can sustain it for a while, but eventually you'll have to sleep a week. So you have to monitor your time, but I see rookie owners not understanding how much time it's really going to take. A lot of the time you'll be waiting for vendors like contractors or engineers. You're waiting on parts and machinery to come in. You'll be waiting on city inspectors. You'll be waiting on TDLR. You'll be waiting on HHC, Health and Human Services, HHS.
Okay.
And you'll be waiting on your license. There's just no way around it. So you budget your time to get through with all of this in that year or year and a half. A good consultant will help you through all this. So you can find a good consultant for the manager's class. That would be the first step, is to take a manager's class, and they're on the internet. Take a manager's class and get a concept of what you're going to be working with. I have seen people take the manager's class and come out of the manager's class and say, in no way am I prepared to do this kind of work. I have seen people come out of the manager's class and say, I can't wait to get started. It just
Excellent.
depends on who they are. But if
I'm
they
taking
come
it
out,
now.
what?
I'm taking the class now, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of regulation here.
It's a lot of regulations.
Yeah.
And once you get past the house regulations, you're into the medication regulations, you're into
Mhm.
activities regulations, you're into another lot of regulations. But
Mhm.
eventually, as an owner, it kind of becomes a rolling schedule and you get used to it. But you have to be able to hang in there long enough to get to that get used to it category.
Mhm.
So it is a very highly regulated industry, and there are people who absolutely love it and wouldn't do anything else, and there are people who actually can't stand it. So you've got to find out who you are by taking that manager's class. And if you're working full time, and a lot of assisted living new owners are working, many of them as nurses in the medical field. As owners, you don't want the project stalled because you yourself can't get your time organized to get to the next step. So that's number two that I find that they miss. Number three is rookie
Gotcha.
ALF owners sometimes just want to buy any house and turn it into an assisted living facility. Well, that's not as easy as it sounds. So this industry is very specific with a lot of detailed regulations. And like one of the regulations is showers, how deep, how big, what kind of handheld devices you have to have with it. And before you go off jumping off the cliff and commit to a property, absolutely get an engineering evaluation of the proposed property. And the one guy I know who does an excellent job for this is Fred Worley out of Austin. If you contact me later, I can give you his number. He's been
I
in
need to know.
the ALF industry for a couple of centuries at least. So he really knows what he's talking about. You may have to pay for this evaluation. I don't know, but it's worth every dime to know what you're going to get into with the house that you're proposing. For instance, I know a prospective ALF owner who found what we thought was the perfect house for a 10-room facility.
Mhm.
When she got her first engineering evaluation, it came to light that the water utility district didn't have enough pressure to support the kind of sprinkler system she was going to have to put into the house.
Ah,
She was going to have to use one of her smaller rooms, which she was going to use for a resident, to put in great big tanks to support the sprinkler system. Well, the change in income on the financials was a significant change, not to mention the $100,000 extra she was going to have to put in to rehab the house.
my goodness. My goodness.
These people, this little owner, she got the word before she signed the contract on the house. Thank goodness.
Wow.
So get your engineering report.
Number one, I'm gonna start telling people to do.
Yes. So the next question I get is, what consultant should I use? What consultant should I use? Well, there are many consultants in this industry that will charge you an arm and a leg and will give you generalized, not specific training and advice. They will give you the top line, just the top line information, but they don't have the kind of experience that will tell you what that means. And you will spend a lot of money and not get the value for your money. Good recommendations come from former clients, network yourself. Go to Facebook groups, go to industry meetings like TDLR, TALA, Torch, and go to these meetings and ask people you will meet who they use as a consultant and would they recommend them. Have a list of questions when you call up the consultant
Question.
and don't hire them right away. say thank you very much, go away in a dark room, and think about what you just heard and give it some real intense, is this going to be helpful to me, or am I going to be wasting my money here? Think about
Mhm.
it, and then go and hire who you want to hire. It doesn't do you as a Texas ALF owner any good to get the regulations from North Dakota or Florida or Missouri. Texas regulations are different. So your consultants, you want to be born and bred in the industry in Texas specifically.
Mhm.
That is kind of critical. So that would be one of your critical questions you would ask a consultant who's proposing to work with you. And the last issue that I find, do you have a question?
Yeah, you mentioned these acronyms. Now, I'm not too familiar with those acronyms. Can you go back, like what does TDLR stand for?
Texas,
TALA.
Texas Licensing and Regulation Agency.
Okay. And then that's TALA. And then TDLR is, I guess,
That's
Texas.
TDLR. TORCH is Texas Organization of Real. I don't know anymore. I just know them by Torch and
Gotcha. I got, okay.
Tala. Just Google search them.
Torch.
Google search
Okay.
them, and they have
Hmm.
some information online. The other thing you can do about that is you can go look for people's blogs. Blogs are becoming more
Oh.
and more of a way to share information. And
Mhm.
I often go out on blogs, and almost every time I go and read a blog, I come up with a piece of information I didn't know.
That's
So
excellent.
spend some time on blogs and podcasts and podcasts.
I
All
learned a lot.
right. The last um, issue that I see small business people making a mistake on is, and this is kind of self-serving. I want to put that out there at the beginning. This is self-serving. They don't budget for marketing. Somehow they feel like the marketing is just going to happen accidentally at no cost. They don't build in to their first line budget a marketing budget. And there are two marketing budgets to build. One is your online presence, and one is your um, printed documents. So the startup budget is the first budget, and the sustainable budget is the second budget. The startup budget is very demanding, especially to get yourself an online presence. The first level
Mhm.
is marketing to home health care agencies or hospice agencies, geriatric doctors, nursing homes, all of those referral locations that will feed your property with residents. This portion of your marketing budget will include cards, brochures, handouts, giveaways, and lots of time. Lots of time. It'll take shoe leather and elbow grease, lots of
Mhm.
time. And you will have to go to visit each one of these different people in their different areas of work multiple times before they will give you any results at all. They're not going to respond to you the first or second time you show up because they're going to want to know that they can trust you, that your home is stable, that you're going to take care of who they refer to you so they can feel secure that you're taking care of the residents there, that they have taken care of themselves. So without this portion of your marketing in place, you will get nowhere very slowly. You will not have residents coming into your house for months.
Oh my goodness.
The second portion of your marketing is to the generalized community looking for homes for their family members. And this is done online. And sure, you as the owner can go to caring.com and a placeformom.com. and get residents from them. However, you're going to find that they are very expensive, and you may not be able to work their fees into that marketing budget.
Mhm.
So that leaves the other option of you managing your own marketing. Well, one thing I know about marketing, it is a very time-consuming issue.
I understand. I'm trying to do it myself for my other business, and it's the majority of my day, honestly. It's really
Yes, yes.
mm,
Creating flyers, getting the
mm,
color just right, getting the
mm,
pictures just right, getting it
mm,
all to where it comes out gracefully and attractive. And so, not too many words, but enough words. It's a
mm,
very tricky little situation, and you have to massage it quite a bit before you go, oh, boom, that's it. That's
mm,
it. So, you can you can do your own marketing if you want. We will give you pointers. We will help you. I'm always open for a call to say, hey, I got this one quick question. I get about 10 of those a day. So I don't mind them. So, how you build your online footprint is a step-by-step organization. The first thing you have to have is called a Google business page. And those seem really simple to put together. They're
mm.
like a little bitty website. And this is how you notify Google that you have a business out there. Without a Google business page, you're not going to get referred by Google anytime.
Right.
So we charge, frankly, we charge $175 for getting your business page up with pictures, with the copy, with everything that Google wants to see in that Google business page. That's the first step. The second step is you must have a website. Now, you don't have to have a big website, but for instance, if you're going to get your home registered with Health and Human Services, they demand a website. That's the first thing. You have to have a website. The other reason you want a website is for reputation. The very first thing that happens when people run across somebody's company name is they go out on the internet and they look to see what their website looks like.
Mhm.
Did you know that somewhere around 80% of the people that shop at, for instance, Ross and TJ Maxx, go out on the website first to see what they can see and the pricing before they step into the store?
I
We
believe
have
it. Yeah.
ways of tracking that. People use websites incredibly amounts of time, and most of it is on the mobile phone. So you have to make sure your website looks good on the phone and on the iPad as well as the computer. So
Mhm.
you get live with a website, and all you need is one page to start with. You don't need a great big, huge 5-page website. Just get yourself out there so that Google can start aging this website. It's a process that's a little bit of a mystery, but it takes a while for Google to even see the website. And then you want to tweak it, and Google says, oh, this is an active company. Let's go back and look at them again. There's ways to get Google to help you, and there's ways that will cause Google to penalize you. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they will penalize you. And the penalty is they will refer somebody else's website before they refer yours. So um, then after that, there is something called listings and citations. If you go and you have a website that you want to look at, and you type in the search bar the name of the company on the website, you'll notice it pulls up at the top of the page the sponsored ads. Those are people that paid to be at the top of the page. Then you
Mm,
have like the map, then you have some listings down there. And then you start seeing the name of that company over and over and over and over again. And finally, you find their website. Those over and over and over again sites are called listings and citations. It
mm,
turns out Not everybody uses Google to find companies. They use other places. In my company, we know 175 other places. And so we get, depending on what the industry is, like we would list an ALF at 35 places, 35 specific places. When we have a plumber client, we would list them on different places because people look for different commodities on different listing sites. So we get these listing sites up and going, including pictures and hours, and we spend a lot of time doing it so that when somebody searches your company name, it comes up multiple times. And in people's heads, that gives you reputation. That's what happens with that. So we get the listings and citations going, and then we go to social media advertising. Now, Facebook,
That's a lot. Wow.
it's a lot. Now, Facebook is a wonderful advertising tool, and it is a pain in the neck to work with. It is a pain in the neck. You have to have a profile first. That is a personal profile. Then you have to make a page that is a business page. Then you have to season your business page. Then you have to get a certain number of likes on your business page. And there is a way to do that. And then you have to be very careful what words you use because Facebook has 1,000 words that you can't use on their advertising. And they don't literally tell you exactly what 1,000 words it is today because it's changing all the time. It will just happen that you try to do an ad, an automated ad in Facebook, and they will send you a notice back that says, oops, this ad is not approved, and they won't tell you why. You just have to go down the rabbit hole with the Facebook instructions to try to figure out why. And you run the ad again, and they send it back and they say, nope, this ad is not accepted. And you run it again, and they send it back and say, not accepted. And eventually, if you do it enough, they will just cancel the ad.
My goodness.
So there are ways around this. There are tricks to doing it, and you have to have a little experience to know how to get around it. And um, it's very interesting how all that works. So we run ads on Facebook and Instagram, and I have a TikTok account that is my personal account, but I have not put a business account out there on TikTok yet. I've been so busy doing all the rest of the stuff, I just haven't had time to get it all set up. But if somebody wanted me to go figure out TikTok, I'll go figure out TikTok.
It's it's a very there's so many social medias out there. Like there's LinkedIn and there's all this and that, and it's tough, you know. You really need a dedicated person to that's doing it all the time to know and to guide you to do the right thing. Because I mean, just the whole like ad thing alone, like, you know, I had no idea they had restrictions. I mean, I figured there was restrictions, like, you know, like hate speech and stuff like that. But
Oh, yeah,
you know, in
that's
an ad,
easy.
like what else you can put in there?
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, you know, like what else?
Now,
Yeah.
remember, LinkedIn is a business to business environment. The assisted
Mm-hmm.
living is business to end user, to family member.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is an environment that does not generate a lot for assisted living.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you wanted a LinkedIn account as an assisted living manager and you wanted to find a contractor to work in your business, that's what you would do on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
If you were if you were a contractor and you wanted to find contracts like assisted living managers that you could remodel their homes for, that's business to business. But assisted living is Facebook. It is, I'm a business and I'm reaching out to the general public.
Mm. I like that. I never really put those two ideas
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. So I work mostly in Texas. I'm a boutique operation. I have one employee. who is a graphics artist genius, and she just loves it. And we know already, after a couple of years of work, that running an ALF ad in Dallas may get you a really different response in Rosenberg, for instance. So
Mhm.
we have learned that each geographical area has its own little hot spots that we can tap into and get good response on the ads. So if you are an ALF owner that is looking at somebody else's ads and it looks like it's an attractive ad, it may be working quite well in Abilene and it would be terrible in Pearland.
Hmm.
It's geographically organized. So be aware of that if you're going to do your own Facebook ads. So let's talk about branding.
Mhm.
Branding starts from the very beginning. So, you know, the Nike swoosh,
Yes.
the swoosh, every time you look at that, you don't have to have the word Nike. You know, that's a Nike swoosh. That's called branding. And branding includes a logo, it includes what font you're using for the typing, it includes color, it includes a tagline like "We're here to help" or "Forever yours," or any kind of a tagline that you come up with. And my living owners come up with beautiful taglines. So these taglines and these colors, you start from the beginning. Your cards, your brochures, your handouts, your giveaways, your website, your shirts that you have for your employees, it's all it has to be all the same, because what you want to do is eventually in the community, whether it's people looking for homes for their family members, but you're going to be out in the community with the Chamber of Commerce. You're going to be going to the bank. You want people to recognize you from your branding. And one of the saddest things that I see happen is assisted living owners, newbies, don't start out with their branding from the beginning, and they get their website up from someplace and they get their cards made at Vistaprint and they get their brochures done down the street at Fast Signs, and they don't do their branding and they waste their money because 6 months into when they open up their business, they realize somebody's clued them in that they are not branded. Everything is standing alone. It looks different. It looks different. It looks different. So start your branding from the
Mhm.
very first time you want to open up your company. When you buy that house and you sign that contract, have a card attached to that contract, hand it to the person that sold you the house and say, "This is my card. Refer who you wish," but
I
have it
love
already
that.
ready and branded.
I love that. That's excellent.
So that's what I know about marketing. That's the quick overview. Sounds easy,
Ooh. Uh,
fun.
quite a bit, quite a bit. And I can tell you love it. I can
I
really
love
tell.
it.
It's yeah, like just the things that you talk about, it's very important detail.
Yes.
Can whole load that you can a whole nother like layer to it that we really do need to understand. That's excellent. Um, what is the best way to reach you?
Oh, that. I forgot about that. My name is Charlie Montgomery. I run a company called Silver Moon Agency.
Mhm.
Silver because I'm old and my hair is gray. Moon because that was my maiden name. So it's silvermoonagency.com. My Gmail address is silvermoonadagency@gmail.com. And my
Mhm.
phone number is 832 370-1328. And if I don't answer the phone, leave a message and I'll call you back as soon as I can.
That's excellent, Miss Charlie. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Miss Charlie. You have been a wealth of knowledge. I'm gonna do some research myself on a lot of these things that you're doing and apply some of this as well. And I really appreciate your time.
Well, call me when you need me.
For sure, for sure.
Thank you for this opportunity. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Miss Charlie. We'll bring you back for a couple more tidbits next time for sure.
Okay, thanks.